So what we have here is a blinking NES that I picked up at a yard sale. As you can see in there, has got a game. It's Double Dragon 2. And you come up here, and there's nothing on the screen. Flashes a couple times, and because this is a LCD screen or an LED screen, it's not going to show what it normally does. It'll be blinking gray or pink or whatever box, blue. That's it. And we're going to teach you how to fix that today. Very simple, I guarantee you. Okay, so we have the Nintendo, and we just saw all right here, and we're going to need some tools. We're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, preferably a magnetic one, but I have a little magnetic tool because this one is not. It's hard to get the screws out of the bottom sometimes. You're going to need some Brasso. You're going to need some alcohol, you're going to need some rubbing alcohol. Just for the outside to clean the plastic up, you need some glass cleaner, Glass Plus, or whatever surface cleaner you prefer to use on it. Just about like your kitchen countertops or whatever. As long as it's not abrasive, it should be just fine. What else do you need? We'll need some Q-tips, a toothbrush, possibly, and most importantly, a rag. Alright, so I'm going ahead and taking out some screws to speed up time a little bit. There are screws 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They come out, pop this right off, okay? You can set this part aside over here. That's just fine. And then you have screws 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a little different on some of them. I've taken most of these out already, just to get to the meat and potatoes. Just want to speed this along a little bit. Didn't want you guys to see a speeded up a speeded up video. So here, all right. So now we're down to this, and this is the meat and potatoes right here. This is what we're getting at. This is the pin connector right here. This is what we want to replace. We're also going to clean the pin connections on the actual motherboard, and we'll get to that in just a second. Also, you're going to see a lot of dirt and dust and stuff in here. If you want, you can use a can of air or whatever means necessary to blow out. That's right. You see me using my breath, goddammit, to blow out all the dust and stuff in there. But all this is going to come out, so you're going to see it up and personal. So you got 6 more screws to take out. The 2 smaller ones. Now these are all the same screws from the outside of the cart, from the outside all the way to the inside. They're all the same size screws. That's why I have them all in this little pile here. There's 2 that are not the same size, and we're about to get to them in a second. Usually they're silver like this one. See how this one's silver and that one's brass? All the rest of them are usually this color, brass. These 2 are silver. Sometimes they're brass though. So if you have one and they're brass, just note that they're pretty much the same size, but longer. Basically the same screw. Same screw. One's longer. Okay? Alright, the silver's the longer. We're going to take these out. Maybe you can't remember where that goes, man, you shouldn't be doing this shit. That's all I'm saying. You shouldn't be doing this shit if you don't remember where that shit goes. Oh wow, it's starting to get magnetic. Look at that. Alright, so this should lift out. Oh, no, I'm missing a screw. There's one back here too. Alright. Alright, good. Yay, it's starting to become magnetic. I did my job. Alright, so you lift this right out. This may come off or may not. You may have to wiggle it off. That's okay. We'll put that aside too. It's not important. What's important are these things right here. These are your front LED, your front controllers and your controller ports. Your, power switch, reset switch, and light, and your controller ports. Those plug in right there. It's not really necessary to know where they go because they will only reach to where they go, pretty much. So you take this bottom RF shield off, put it aside, and you're left with this. This is the pin connector and the motherboard. I like to get this motherboard nice and clean. I'll take a toothbrush and just, you know, you don't even have to put any stuff on it. Just get all the extra dirt and grime on it. It's 30 years since this thing has seen the day of light, okay? 30 years, that's right. All right, we're good. Just pop this sucker right off. Hold it like this, okay? See where I got my thumb over here? Got this. Just wiggle it off. There you go. There's your pin connector. Voila. Some people like to clean those. I like to replace them. I'm also going to be disabling the chip that makes the system blink. It's basically that's what it does. This makes the system blink if it's not the right cartridge in there. It's a region lockout chip is what they call it. And if you're trying to use a different region game, you wouldn't be able to unless if you had this chip enabled. So I'm going to disable it. This also stops the blinking, as I just mentioned. So, I mean, if your cart's dirty or the system's dirty, it still won't play, but at least it won't blink. So we have this chip right here on the board. Let's see if we can get it good. This chip right here, okay? It's marked the 3193A, okay? And starting from the opposite side of this thing, so starting from your left-hand side, it's pin 1, 2, 3, 4. What you're going to do is just pop it right out. Oh, hey, look at that. I broke my piece of shit. That's right. I didn't like that bit anyway. What was I using before to pop those things out? We can use this, I think. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you pop it out, just make sure it's not making connection with the chip anymore. Use something smaller, like tweezers, like these durable tweezers right here. These things are nice. Okay, and just remove it fully. Work it back and forth if you have to get the pin out. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, don't do it. It's not necessary to do it. I do it because I can, and I like to. You don't have to worry about people bitching about, oh, it blinks. These things will blink on you on occasion. This is, even if the card is clean and the pins are new or clean, it will, I repeat, it will still blink on you on occasion. And it sucks. So now, I've just removed this piece of metal. And voila, we will no longer have a blinking NES. Alright, that being said, we're going to clean these pins right here. See these pins? We're going to do it on both sides. They don't look dirty, do they? They don't look very dirty. Let me tell you something, they are. So what I usually do is I get some Brasso, like I'm polishing my brass buckle at military or boot camp. Let's shake the sucker up. If you haven't used your Brasso in a while, it's a good thing to shake it up. As you can see, I use a lot of Brasso. That shit's all caked up, right? Alright, so you get your Brasso, and you just pour that sucker on, man. Polish that sucker up. And then, get some more Brasso. Do it on the other side. Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to go no good with this stuff. Because look, you can't see that thing's dirty already. And it's going to continue to get dirty. You're not going to make it so that rag is not black. What you're going to do is make it good. So okay, now you've done that. What you're going to do Flip it back over to the other side you already put the Brasso on, and just take a dry part of the rag where there's nothing on it. And voila, clean it off. Look at that, man. That's crazy, right? Another part, do the same thing again. You're gonna repeat this process, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. Yeah, I said it, 3 or 4 times. Some people like to get all the residue off, which is what you would use the rubbing alcohol for right away, but I do that at the end because there's no point in doing it every single time. I mean, I guess I can kind of see the point, but I really don't, honestly. We're just gonna do it again. I think a good 3 times at least. 4 or 5 may be your preference. Okay. Yeah, why do I go back over to the part I just did? Because you want it to set in a little bit. You don't want it to set in too long. People don't like using Brasso. Oh, it's abrasive, it's corrosive, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I use this shit on Nintendo carts and everything. As long as you do it right, and you don't fucking let it soak in, on there for an hour or whatever. You do it real quick, man, this stuff comes right up. It doesn't hurt your shit. You're not gonna die. No one's gonna die. Your pens aren't gonna die. Nor will they ever. I'm still using video games that I used, that I cleaned a year ago or so. And look, I don't have to clean them again. Some people have other metal polishes that they use. Whatever your preference is, man. I don't know. I can't speak for the other ones. This is what I'm used to because I did go to a military high school, so I'm used to working with this metal polish. One more time. One more time. And then we'll get rid of the residue. See how it's not as black as it was before, but it's still black. When it starts to go, you know, less black, like I don't know, it's hard to explain, a lighter shade of black, if that's possible, then you know. Alright, there we go. All set. Done with our Brasso for that for now. Now, this is where this comes in. Same thing, get a clean part of your rag. Just make sure it gets all wet. That's all. See how it's wet? And we do this. Look at that. We're just trying to get up all the residue. And then we take another dry part of the rag and dry it up. Now, as far as the type of alcohol to use, I'm using 50% rubbing alcohol, which leaves a little bit more of water behind, but as long as you're cleaning up with a rag afterwards, it should be okay. At the dollar store, this size is $1, and it's lasted me that I'm almost out, man. You can barely see the stuff. It is dirty as hell, but it's $1, and it lasted for a fucking year. So, to me, that's a good return. This will be my last use of this rubbing alcohol. I shouldn't have to use it again. See, yeah, we're good. We're just getting up all the last residue. Now, Why are we doing this? Just because, you know, we want to make sure the contacts are good for the new pins you're going to be putting on. Speaking of which, the new pins. Nice plastic. Yep, I'm using new pins. Some people like to clean the pins. I've tried it and had mixed results. It's taken a little bit longer than I would like. Some people boil them. I've tried that too. It depends, man. I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Even if you do clean them, you still have to adjust the pins, get in there and make them stiffer, you know, bend them out a little bit. That's the part I don't like. It's a little time consuming. And for a return on your product, time is money, okay? If you're selling shit, time is money. And this process alone takes enough time. So, that being said, alright, I believe they go this way, right? Yeah. The shield is in the bottom. So, alright, so you get your pin, right? You got your pins to put it back on. Pins. The part that doesn't have the thing sticking up is where this part sticks up. And they're kind of stiff. There you go. Stick them right on. Don't be afraid to get them on there, man. Do not be afraid to get them on there. Okay, we're good. Now, we're going to put it back together. So at first I wasn't going to show this part, but I guess I will. We're just going to, you know, take a can of air. I don't have one with me. I usually do. But take a can of air. There's a lot of dust in here. Blow that out. I'm using my breath, which works good in a pinch, but really a can of air is better, or one of those dusters that they have that blows airs. Those are really good. But either way, just get that out of there. That's all you need is the dust that you just took out of here and all the dirt you just took out of here, getting back in here. Alright, connectors. Blue obviously goes to the blue. The short one goes in the front. There are two sets of pins that look the same. The colors are always on top. And the long one goes on the side. Be sure when you're putting this back in, if you are new to this, be sure that you line up the screw holes and everything good before you. I like to do it before I put this back on. Oh crap, I forgot. See, even me who's done this 100 times forget shit. There's an RF shield that goes in the bottom, don't forget it. Shit, I knew there was something funky. Yeah, RF shield goes on first before you put these on. I don't know why they made it like that, but whatever. Alright, so that's good. Then you're going to take this and slide it on. You got to slide it on. This is a tricky part. Sometimes, especially with a new pin connector, it's not going to go on right away. You got to kind of force it. You might even want to do this before you put the cables back on. There we go. Once you get it in there, once you work it in there, it should go on pretty easily. Alright. Taking the cables out. Alright, so just get it on there. Yeah, there we go. Space it in there. There's a little space underneath the pin connector where the bottom part goes in, and you just gotta wedge it in there. Also, on the bottom of this thing, there's a little lip right here. There's a little lip right here. Make sure that goes on this side of the board. You don't want to under it because it'll cause problems with it later, okay? You want that to go over the board like it is shown in this picture right here. See that lip? See this? This black piece of plastic. You want to see that. Alright, so that's good. Now we can suck this sucker back in. Alright, that's working good. We're going to put the screws back in. Remember the long screws? Remember the long screws? Yeah, put those in first. They are these right here. Rewind the video if you don't remember where they go. Now, honestly, if you have one, you know, you're running short on screws or something, or you have one without screws, you could take about half of the screws out of this part. Actually, you can't do that yet. You gotta put this on first, jerk. But you want to put every screw into the tray part, because it's very important that it's sitting right and it's in the right position. That is a very important part. Alright, we gotta... I'm just gonna do that. It is very important that this part is got all its screws. The rest of the board, not so much. I have not had an issue taking, you know, like one screw for each side just to hold it in place. It's basically all it's doing. And then using them for another one that, or parts, you know, or I'll put parts and stuff together. I don't know why the screwdriver's not working well, but it's not. Alright, so you put the screws back in. Don't forget the RF shield, guys. Alright, so don't forget to put this sucker back on. It should, after you put the thing back on, there we go. This will show you where the screws go. Now that we've got her all back assembled, what we want to do is clean it up a little bit. Take another rag. I use a microfiber cloth rag for this part. Clean one preferably. I get a little, you know, a little Windex on it, and then I'll wipe it down. This one is in good shape. You will find that others are not as in good shape. A little elbow grease does a little justice. You know, if you want to get in these vents right here, this is where the toothbrush comes in handy. You get in there, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, this one was pretty good. I might have to get in there with a toothbrush a little later. I'm not going to do that right now. You guys, this isn't freaking cleaning 101. I'm sure any household cleaner will do good for you. And it's already looking better, spiffy. You know, if there's some tough spots like this, rub on it, get the brush out, do what you gotta do. If that doesn't work, screw it, it's not a big deal, man. Most people, when they're looking at these things, look for the color. For your sides. Let's go see if this thing works, shall we? Okay then, so you see, oh come on, so you see No more blinking red light. I've got a game in there. Super Mario 3. I used Super Mario 3 this time because I realized I hadn't exactly tested out the other game, so I didn't know if it works or not. So as you can see, Mario 3 is working just fine. I'm not going to play it to show you that it's there. Controllers are a whole different world of cleaning and making sure they work, so generally controller ports on these things don't go bad. On occasion you might find that be the issue, but it probably won't be the issue with this one because it was pretty clean. That being said, I took a $25 yard sale fine. I'll probably put it on eBay for $90. That's what they generally go for me, and that's including free shipping. And I'll get $75 to $80 return on it, and with minus fees and shipping. So hey, thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button and share the heck out of this video. And as always, thank you for kicking it retro with me.